Made it one whole week. Morning number 7 of morning routine suck, but we're going to do one anyway. Remember, we're about three things as soon as we wake up: hydrating, getting oxygen to your brain through some kind of movement, getting outside and getting just a few minutes of sunlight. It's going to signal your body to wake up. You're going to be ready, mentally primed, and hopefully be able to tackle your day. First things first, we're going to get in this water. I don't care if it's plastic, 16 ounces. I'm going with a quarter tablespoon of pink Himalayan salt right in top, shaking them up, throwing it back. Probably going to talk for a little bit to try to actually avoid doing these push ups, but still going to go right in. It's always a little bit salty, but I feel like I'm kind of craving it when I wake up, and I do feel good getting it down. Let's do it. Man, check out these jank ass push ups. Nah, I'm just kidding. Remember, we're not doing anything other than blood flow driving right into your muscles. Hopefully, the oxygen's gonna get to your brain. You're gonna feel better, look better, perform better. Just getting a little chest pump makes me feel better. This is probably the first morning out of the 7 mornings where I actually don't feel near as out of breath as I usually do. A lot of times I gotta stop the camera, like, just because you look like you're in shape when you try a new exercise or something, it's still gonna hit you differently. And man, I hadn't done push-ups, since I started doing this 7 days ago. I can tell you the last time I had done push-ups. I mean, maybe at like the end of a chest workout or something, but ooh, not first thing in the morning. You know what? Maybe I jumped the gun. Maybe I do need these breaths. Whew. Most of us know about progressive overload, and most of us know how to apply that in the gym. If you don't, it's easy. When you work out, the next time you work out, you've got to be getting stronger. Like, say last week, or you did arms, you did 100 pounds for 8 on the regular barbell curl. This week, when you hit arms, you got a couple of choices. You can try to get 9 reps with the same weight. You can add a little bit of extra weight, 105 pounds, and maybe get 5 or 6. So you've gone up in weight, or you've gone up with the amount of reps that you can do. That's probably the simplest, most basic form of progressive overload, but you'd be surprised about how many people don't actually even understand that. But that's got to be the foundation of your workout, unless you're like rehabbing something or have a special circumstance. Another thing that you can do is you can do the same workout in less time, and you're actually progressing, and that is an overload to the body because it's the same amount of work, but you've had to work harder and faster to get it done in a less amount of time. That's probably a little bit less popular way to go about it. And there's other ways to do it as well. Some people like to slow the rep down and work on their form. And so that way there's actually more time under tension. That's another way you can progressively overload your body through exercise at the gym. But whatever your workout routine is, it has to be structured in a way that produces or can produce progressive overload. A lot of times it's not necessarily our workout routine or plan, but it's all the things we do outside of the gym. If you're not recovering, if you're not getting good sleep, if you're not eating to support your workout, those can all negatively affect your ability, to progressively overload positively and move forward. But what's interesting to me is, and I was guilty of this for years, is only confining progressive overload to the gym. What I mean by that is our life in general needs to be characterized by some degree of progressive overload. I read a quote yesterday. When you want something to appear, or you wish really bad for it to appear, and you don't put in the work on any level to make that wish actualize, what you're really doing is making your confidence disappear. So progressive overload, it really holds us to a standard that we have to be doing better each and every day. And it's not just at the gym, life in general, the reps of life. Are we showing up daily for the process that we have? Also, too, you know, I've got a little blueprint morning routine, but I'm always looking for ways to better it or maybe to even add to what I'm already doing. So, my day's activities, uh, my obligations to myself, to my friends, I have to progressively overload those things. Now, if I'm not meeting those requirements as it is, I can't overload and do more if I'm not doing the bare minimum. But a lot of times we're stuck in a rut. Maybe we are doing our bare minimum, but we need a little nudge because we know we should be doing more. And a lot of times it's just like this morning routine. Again, I'm not waking up any earlier than I usually do. What I'm cutting out is all that time I'm sitting in my chair, just kind of dreading having to do anything. I'm sipping my coffee. I'm trying to actually be thankful for the day, but really, gratitude is best shown through action, not inaction. Inaction is what causes frustration, anxiety, depression. Once you get out and start moving, that motion will propel you towards positivity. I mean, it's biological. I'm proving it to myself as I'm doing these videos. But that's probably something that I've got to work on more than anything is taking the philosophy of a progressive overload and applying it everywhere outside of the gym because I've got the gym down. I've been doing this for 20 years. I'm natural, no supplements or TRT. uh, I take creatine when I can afford it. I take a whey protein powder when I can afford it. But I've been locked in for so long that this is natural for me. I eat anywhere between 2,500 and 3,000 calories a day. I get close to 200 grams of protein, probably about 200 grams of carbs, close to 100 grams of fat. I've been doing this so long. It's just ingrained in me. But what's not ingrained in me is how to take that philosophy and apply it other places. That's why I'm doing this now because I'm too old to be stuck, uh, you know, with a formula that works, but a formula that only applies to a niche area of life. Now, I saw something the other day, and I've actually seen a few examples of these over the years. And I'll see an older, jacked person. I'm talking about maybe late 50s, early 60s, and in some cases, a jacked couple, a fit couple, and they've clearly put years and years and years of investment into their bodies, and they look phenomenal. There's somebody that all the people in the gym, they look up to them, they go to them, they ask for advice. But what hurts is when you see them and they're going outside and you can tell that financially they're nowhere near where they are, as far as their status in the gym. And I know it sucks, and I'm not a materialistic guy at all. But sometimes their car will be falling apart. You'll see them out and about, somewhere, and you can just tell that they have not prioritized the other areas in their life the same way that they have the gym. And I am so guilty of doing that, but I'm realizing it. I'm realizing that if I don't take control and take action now and teach myself the progressive overload of life, then I'm not going to maximize my time. I'm not going to achieve the things I want to achieve. And I might just have to be happy with like some mid physique for the rest of my life. And that's not going to happen. I've got to hold myself accountable. This is day 7 of infinity. Let's go.